Good evening. Today we are looking at the site in Kent of Warren Street. Now, I am not familiar with Kent and I had no idea where Warren Street is. Looking on the Wikipedia article for the Survey of English Dialects, they didn't even have a link to Warren Street, which is unusual. But I do own a copy of the Survey of English Dialects for Southern Counties. So it says there it's included under Lenham. For somebody like me, I have no idea where Lenham is, but it appears to be just south of Maidstone. And Warren Street is a bit east of Lenham. So let's have a look at this one. This, again, was done by David Leslie. Now, I've mentioned before that David Leslie's handwriting is very difficult to read. I mean, if you look at these introductory notes, I think here he's trying to distinguish different sorts of R sound, because here we have alveolar consonant and fricative, but it really is a bit difficult to make out. As usual, he gives some explanation. So this was a farmer who was about 75 years old who had lived his entire life in Warren Street. Now, I've looked at two from David Leslie before. In both cases, his use of phonetics is a bit eccentric, as in he tends to use a lowercase e a lot, where other people would probably use some sort of I. He uses a lot of A's for the southern vowel in words like cup. Now, I'm aware that some people do say cup like cap, but he certainly seems to transcribe this a lot more than most people do. Yes. This is quite similar to some of the other southern ones I've looked at, but it seems a bit closer to standard English. It doesn't seem to be rhotic, but again, it's a little hard. I mean, that one that's in superscript, is that a letter R, or is that a question mark? Because a question mark can mean a glottalization of the T afterwards. For Fort Lightning. Yeah, it's not easy for me to imitate. So you see puddles, or as he says, paddles. That has the L retained, so it doesn't have L vocalization, unlike some other southern ones I've looked at. Letter H is kept in words like hail and hairy frost. Hoary frost, I mean. Again, struggling with his handwriting. Hoary frost. Hell. So there we keep the H and the L, but that's another case of where he's using an E, where a lot of people would use an I. And C instead of say. Fawn. So thorn seems to have a D in it there as fawns. That's a bit odd. So there we have Warren Street. I wouldn't say this is one of the more interesting ones I've looked at. Maybe it would be interesting if I knew a bit more about how people in Kent spoke. Now, I'm aware that Kent, traditionally, the dialect there is more like what you'd now associate with the West Country in terms of pronouncing the letter R and the long vowel sounds, but I understand with it being so close to London, it's become more and more like traditional London dialect. Oh, and actually we do have an example there of L vocalization in the word mole. I'm not even going to try to imitate that. But yes, so ends Warren Street, a place so tiny it doesn't even have a Wikipedia article.